All right, peace, 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 peace. First and foremost, hopefully, Most High in your house shall bless you all day. By His mercies you are consumed, and we're alive in the Most High in your house shall's body, and two, we're naturally alive, man. Yeah, man. So let's just go out there and appreciate life, man, and um, you know what? Let's look at this for a minute, man, because I want to get into something real quick, man, because I haven't touched on this in a minute, man, but um, kind of brought back. It kind of came back up, in a sense, man, because you know, um, let's get this Matthew 5 real quick, because it is what happened was rap legend, yesterday, even Irv Gotti, man, he passed away yesterday, so a legendary producer started with started with like Mike Geronimo in the '90s, that whole the Mike Geronimo, the Cash Money Click, that with Ja Rule and somebody that whole there. Then of course the rise of DMX. Then of course the Ja Rule, of course, later on. Then he started murdering things in that nature, man. So he passed away yesterday, man. So I was playing Madden with my homie yesterday. So there's a reason why I'm saying all this too. But and of course as noted, I mean it's not really no surprise. Of course 50 Cent, of course they lifelong enemies. Well, not lifelong, but ever since he got in the game, the whole y'all that follow the rap scene, y'all if y'all know this, y'all know the whole Murder Inc. and 50 Cent and G Unit and all that stuff. It started with that's how 50 got shot, because they were Murder Inc. and Irv Gotti and them. They was affiliated with Supreme McGriff and things of that nature. So that's something within itself. So I don't want to get into that, man. But my point is being that as expected, of course, because 50 Cent, that's just who he is. He he was making fun of Irv Gotti, his death pretty much, man. But it's deeper than all this. I'm just using that as a backdrop to his, because this is a lot what our, not just our people, but a lot of this people do. But I want to focus on focus on our people, because most of I said not to do this, man, because that's rejoicing over somebody, your enemy that died, man, or something bad happening to your enemy, man. And it's crazy because I was just looking at this Job 31 the other day, man. So and it's saying the same thing that Proverbs and Sirach says, man. But I don't see this Matthew 5 real quick, man. Cause yeah, man, that's big with our people, man. Especially now with the whole drill culture, even for decades now, for a long time with our people. But it's heightened now, even with this drill culture and this gang stuff and stuff like that in the streets, man. That's just and that's all comes with prophecy, man. With the world or the love of many waxing cold, man. And it's really unfortunate, man, because I remember years ago, man, my little homies, man, one of my little homies, man, he's I'm glad at the man he's becoming, the progress that he's making, man, and the progress that he's made and he's making, man, because one of the years ago, somebody he had a problem with that died, man. And he was kind of making fun of it. He was kind of laughing at it a little bit. I still remember that, being at the bus stop waiting for him. He told me about it. I was like, yo, listen, man, I get it. You and him have problems, man. That's just not, like, immediately I told him what I told him about Sirach 8 and 7, man, about not rejoicing over an enemy that dies, man. So I kind of told him that, but at the time he wasn't hearing me. Now, but how, who he's becoming now, he's really much wiser. He got older a little bit now, and he's much more mature now. So and they kind of eventually this life a lot of times, sometimes it takes life to somebody to learn, man. So yeah, man. But let's get at this Matthew 5. I think I want to hit Matthew 5 real quick, man, because yeah, man. Yeah, let's get Matthew 5 and I don't you know what, I don't think I want Matthew 5, but yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't. Yeah, Matthew. Yeah, I do want Matthew chapter 5 and verse 44. It says, "But I say unto you," this is Proverbs 25 and 21, 22. This is where your house shall getting this all this stuff from. But it says, "But I say unto you, love your enemies and bless them that curse you, and do them good that hate you, and pray for them which despitefully use you and persecute you." Yeah, man. So that's what Yahushua saying, man. And that's that's heat posed on their head, just you doing that to them, man. But let's get to Job 31 real quick, man, because a lot of times too, it just goes to show you how far we've fallen as a people as well, man. Because Don't get twisted. Has like that's the reason why that scripture was written, Sirach, man, because there was probably people that was doing that, man. But but we was more like even back then, or even before I was coming up, even before like the times before me, like during my parents' time, and even before their parents' time, man, it was a different time. But of course, with our ancestors, things of that nature, our forefathers, man, we were much more loving people now. Like well, don't get it twisted. There's nothing new on Sunday because this stuff always been happening. But I'm just saying that for my time period, man. But now, especially like with the rise of this, like just the rise is now because like with the whole drill stuff and stuff like that, man. Like making fun of like whole Chicago stuff and all this wherever at just all over like where we're at, and man, it's just like making like fun of your enemies dying or like yeah, man, or having like just rejoicing over somebody that's that's dead, man. It's just it's crazy, man, because But let's just grab this Job chapter 31 and verse 29. It says, "If I rejoice at the destruction of him that hated me, or lifted up myself when evil found him, neither have I suffered my mouth to sin, and by wishing a curse to his soul." So yeah, so Job even saying here, man, I didn't rejoice at like the people that hated me. He's doing what Matthew 5 said and what Proverbs said and what Sirach said, man. He says, listen, I never did any of those things, man. So that's how you be a son and daughter of the Most High Yahushua, man. That's what a real Israelite does, man. Because honestly, man, I get it's different for everybody, man. But because like even David, my thing is too. Because listen, I hear this a lot of times too, and here's my thing with this as well. I get it, man. Say if somebody you didn't like or didn't get along with or had a problem or an enemy of yours, like you hear something bad to happen to them or they passed away. Listen, my how I move. This is me personally. I just probably won't say anything. If somebody were to ask me or to tell me, I just say, okay, listen, okay, me and that person didn't get along, and and that's is what it is. What more can I want? Like like that person's dead. Like I'm not gonna keep going on. Like they asked me, came tell me, listen, because I remember Willie D from Ghetto Boys. Him and when Bishop Bill passed away years ago, he said, listen, he was asked about his death. He said, listen, I didn't fool him. He didn't fool me. He kind of left it at that. He didn't keep it going, man, because a lot of times two people say, listen, oh man, like if I didn't fool with you, and I didn't mess with you in life, man, I'm not mess with you when you're dead, and that's fine, cool, but like then just leave. My thing is too with that, just leave it at that. You don't have to keep going like on about it, man, because that's not as diplomatic to do. Like it is what it is. Because listen, like because even David mourned for Saul, but I'm not saying like because that just shows a testament of the man who David was. You don't have to per se because the David still loved Saul, like the entire time he loved Saul, like because he knew that well, one, that's who Saul was, and that it was a spirit put on Saul, but also that's who Saul was. But David still loved Saul, regardless of that. But David even mourned for Saul. But not saying even this you have to mourn for him, but it's okay. That person's dead. Like, what more do you want me to do? I'm not going to keep talking about, like, oh, yeah. Like, somebody were to ask me about it, like, okay, yeah, me and that person, we didn't get along. Hey, it is what it is. But I'm not going to keep saying, yeah, me and this person. Because, there's a point in time, like, if somebody asks you about it, you're just egging it on now. It's okay, that person's dead. And you kind of constantly talk about it. Like, listen, okay, that person knew. I mean, that person knew, and you knew that you didn't get along with each other. Now that person's dead. Like certain things take to the grave with you. Like, all right, certain things just don't need to be said, man. So that's my thing too. Like that's me personally, how I move, how I view things, man. Because that's just is what it is. But also too, speaking of the whole 50 Cent thing with Irv Gotti, that's not the first time 50 had done that. He did with Michael K. Williams back in like 4 years. Actually, yeah, was it 4 years ago when he passed away, because I think he was connected with Supreme McGriff. I think they knew something like that. The people who shot him, like Supreme McGriff and all that, I think Michael K. Williams was connected to him, or they had some type of relationship. And 50 did the same thing. So 50, it's that type of spirit that's bad. It's bigger than 50 Cent itself. It's that type of spirit that's out there, man. Like and that's very evil, wicked spirit to have, man. So yeah, and 50's kind of known, like because it's just a reason why, man, and that just goes to show you how a lot of times life, that's actually real trauma, man, because actually how life, because trauma, like the brother Simeon Firstborn says, like that's something that could alter the brain, like because after 50 Cent, he's on record saying after he got shot, man, he lost a lot of empathy, man. He just lost, like he started being more cold, man. So like after he got shot, like things of that nature. But his behaviors like this, like they said online, they say the reminders why. It's like damn, like, and that's leaving this at far because I can't speak on them. Can't speak on it because I don't know. None of these people personally. I'm speaking on like from afar, man. I think like 50 counts like the example of having money doesn't make you happy, man. Because he seems like just a miserable dude, man. Because like I mean, don't get me wrong. I like 50. He's like of course is like the legend, things that nature's talented, man. Like now I do like 50 from afar for some of his aspects and things, and just from afar. But it just seems like because when you constantly fall out with people that's around you, things of that nature, because it just goes to show you that a lot of things like just certain things that he has going on, man. But I'm saying I don't know the man. But I'm just saying what I assess from far, man. But like cold heartedness and things of that nature. But I mean, hey, I never got shot before, so like that must have altered like because he's on record saying that too, man. But yeah, man, but that's just is what it is. That's to see that from afar, man. That's just somebody like that has money, but it's just miserable, man. Because when people constantly do that, like constantly troll all the time. Because don't get me wrong, if he's funny, that's his personality. But when he constantly do it, like, and it's a lot of times it's maliciously. I was like, okay, there's something going on within that person. Like, even like my people's told me growing up, and like the brother sent me first one, he perfectly said, man, a lot of times when people move a certain way, when people act a certain way, or it's not even you per se, it's just something that they're dealing with internally, man. So like and that's all. Shoot, that's where even amongst your enemies, man. Sometimes with your enemies, they have a problem with you, but also it's things that they got going on internally, man. So yeah, man. But let me get this. Hold on, y'all. Yeah, man. That's just is what it is with that too, man. So yeah, but let me read this again too, because it's the same thing, saying same thing as Proverbs and in Sirach, man. It says, neither have I suffered my mouth. I mean, no, if I would, Job 31:29. If I rejoiced at the destruction of him that hated me, or lifted up myself when evil found him. It says, neither have I suffered my mouth to sin by wishing a curse to his soul. Yes, and also too, in other translations, talking about wishing death on somebody and cursing, like actually, yeah, that's just what's going into as well, man. But yeah, man. Yeah, that's just is what it is right there, man. But let's get to some Proverbs 24, man, because our people like this is a lot, like this gets real day every life, real day, like all the time, like with our people, man, because like that was rapper in Philly that got killed a few months ago, man, because he for doing all that trolling stuff, like that's where that Proverbs comes into play, saying what's that insane Proverbs when it says in my sport, man? That's just. Let me get that real quick, man. I think it's in Proverbs 26, because it's talking about that. It talks about that. Yeah, Proverbs 26 and 19. I should get another translation. So is the man that deceiveth his neighbor and saith, am I not in sports? So yeah, man, what's that going into? All the trolling stuff, man. That's what that is, man. Being a provocateur, being trolling, man. That's what that is, man. We kind of learned during those times, even now, man. It's heightened during now, man. So yeah. Because, a few months ago, I think he had made a rap video at his gravesite, something like that. Then, months later, he got killed, man. I forgot. Y'all brothers and sisters that follow that know his name. But, yeah, man, this happens a lot of times, too, with, like, with that type of spirit, that type of, mentality, man. Like, that, being, rejoicing over death type of spirit, man. Like, even the Most High house that says, listen, like that's why even if something bad happens to an enemy to you, man, don't even rejoice, be happy, because like because most I remember he says in Proverbs 16:2, and like in Malachi would take heed of the spirit, because the Most High house that they weigh the spirit of things. He said, okay, cool, I'm not gonna deal with that person, or I'm gonna bring calamity in your life, or I might bring calamity in both of your lives. I'm gonna deal with this person because this person probably evil, wicked as hell. They might got stuff going on as well, but since you rejoicing and be happy about it or hearing about it and you're happy, I'm gonna deal with you. I'm gonna bring calamity in your life as well. So but yeah, let's get this Proverbs chapter 24 and verse 17. Yep, because I'm about to get it. It says, rejoice not when thy enemy falleth, and let not thy heart be glad when he stumbleth. Least the Lord, 18, least the Lord see it, and it displeases him. So notice it says it displeases him when you have that type of spirit, man. And he turned his way, and he turned away his wrath from him. Yeah, because sometimes most of the house shot might just turn their wrath away from that person. Like depending on who the person is and what they got going on, he might sometimes he will, sometimes he might, and he might bring that upon you, man. But Yeah, man, that's is what it is, because that's what displeases him, man. Like, even someone might say, listen, like, even somebody might say, like, with the example I said earlier, like, when okay, they hear about somebody passed away, enemy of theirs, somebody they get along. It doesn't matter who it is. It might be a family member, like, somebody, blood relative, like, somebody grew up around the way, or like somebody work puts wherever it is. Like, you hear something bad happen to her, or they pass away. Like, you're not necessarily rejoicing in it, saying, like, well, some people do rejoice in that, like that 50 Cent like trolling, that's like rejoicing. But some people saying, oh, listen, I didn't, like, somebody tells you, come ask you about it, then they tell you, like, like, your perspective, well, not your perspective, or give you the news, and you say, listen, like, oh, I didn't mess with that person while they're, while they were alive. I don't mess with them now. All right, that's good. We didn't like each other's mutual. But when you kind of keep going on, you're not rejoicing per se, but that's just not really, like, that's just not really, like, a mature way to keep going on about it. It's like, yeah, because then you start naming all the stuff, y'all history of y'all, of your fallout over your all your what's the I don't want to say beef per se, but yeah, beef per se, history about you and that other person's history, and you start going on and on about it. I can see somebody's asking you about it, but if you kind of keep going on about it, and somebody told you this, or you just heard from heard through the grapevine, or heard from a couple other people that pass away, and like, they tell you, and you're constantly like, and you don't say things other than that, like, listen, okay, I didn't me and that person didn't get along, now I just don't get along with that person then, and you don't leave it at that. That's kind of like me. I speak as a man. That's kind of off the deal. It's like, okay, now you're just egging and milking it on now. Like, all right, cool. Now some of your spirit of, like, your disdain or dislike for a person's coming out. Now you're just kind of keeping it going. So, like, yeah. So that's just neither here nor there. But yeah, because I'm saying that because to say you're not rejoicing per se, but it's just like, this is not really, certain things. It's not really just good to do, honestly, man. All right, let's get this in. What you call them? Proverbs chapter 27, verse 17. It says, "Rejoice not when thy enemy falleth, and let not thy heart be glad when thou stumblest. Least the Lord see, and it displease him, and he turn away his wrath from him." So see, that's why, like, we saving with David, man. That's why David was the man of most on your house shall mine, man. Because look, that's a testament of who he was, man. I recommend y'all, if y'all if y'all ever read 2 Samuel, read that if you're going through a situation like this, or something happens bad, something that happens bad, like, to a person you never got along with, or enemy of yours, like, or if they pass away. I recommend y'all read 2 Samuel 1, man. Like, not per se, you don't have to mourn per se for that person per se, because like everybody's different. Because some people, they are like that. Some people like that, they will mourn, like, for that person. Like, it depending on that, that's just a testament of the character of that person. But my point is that read that, man, because why I'm bringing all this stuff up, man, because like there's really, I'm trying to move like that, man, because like, it's really no excuse, man, because David, like, more for Saul, and Saul tried to kill this man like his entire life, my majority of his life he spent trying to kill this man. Like, so how much more? And here's the thing too about that too, because I was going to bring that up as well, because a lot of times too, like, when people have that type of spirit, like, after that somebody dies and they just keep egging on, and if you get to root a problem, with most cases, not all of them, like, for majority of cases, so some cases the problem really wasn't that serious. It wasn't that serious that you still have that, like, feeling after they pass away. It's like, all right, man, really? That, like, now it's different because depending on the situation, circumstances, what that person did to you. But I can tell you, majority of the stuff I hear, the stuff isn't really that big. It's not like with David and Saul. Like, Saul tried to kill David the majority of his life. You didn't go through what David went through like that. So, like, it's majority of it is really not that serious. So, yeah, man, I recommend y'all to read 2 Samuel 1, man. But yeah. So, I mean, even like, even like I could say, to speak as a man, even with the whole 50 thing, man, like, I can get it from his standpoint, like, But then again, he's of course he's an unbeliever, of course. But even from his standpoint, that was somebody that they were affiliated, like because in the word, like in real life and especially in the streets, man, it's a lot of times too. People like listen, you cool with people that I have a problem with, that we have a problem with, man, because those a lot of those people he had a problem with, the Earth Goddess, Michael K. Williams, the whole thing, they were affiliated with the people that tried to take his life. So part of me understands that, but that comes into play, but the others also too, why what that two things can be true. You can walk in truth grum, like what we said earlier about certain ways to be diplomatic can be true, but also I can understand from his standpoint as well. But also too, man, especially when you get older, man, it's like, all right, cool. But that's just what it is. That's it. Yeah, people gonna be who they are gonna be, man. So that's just what it is, man. That's just who somebody is at the end of the day. So I'm just saying it's bigger than him, but I'm just saying that type of spirit is not really conducive. But let's get to Sirach 8 real quick, man, because then we're going to probably close out. There's something else I wanted to say, but it kind of slipped my mind. Yeah, man. Ecclesiastes chapter 8 and verse 7, man, because I was talking about this with my homie last night, man, so I was just, yeah, man, this stuff is important to know, man, because it's everyday life stuff, man. It is Ecclesiastes, also known as Sirach chapter 8, verse 7. It says, rejoice not over thy greatest enemy being dead. But remember that we all die. So, yeah, man. So, yeah, exactly, man. So, remember that we all die, man. So, listen, okay. Yeah, it doesn't matter, man, about that. It says, because remember what we just read in Proverbs, because listen, you rejoicing and stuff like that over your enemy, something bad happened to your enemy yours possibly dying, but then again, you never know. The Most High just like that, just like that, he might take your life just for doing it. You never know. But let's get this Ecclesiastes, also known as Sirach chapter 8, verse 7. It says, over thy greatest enemy being dead, rejoice not over thy greatest enemy being dead, but remember that we all die, man. And also, too, man, a lot of times, too, and this all ties into as well, that's what I was going to say. Everything isn't always judgment, man. Because even if you hear about someone or just because here's the thing, here's the dichotomy. Especially when before I came to the word and after I came to the word. When I first came, before I came to the word, in the Christian church or things of that nature, everything was just, of course, which is always about is the grace and mercy of the Most High Yahshua. But also too, they were missing things about the judgments of the Lord and what they can do as well. But especially when I came to word, man, and things of that nature, I think it's everything's just judgment, everything's just judgment, man, and that's not the case. But I think because a lot of times, of course, when majority of brothers and sisters that us coming to the word, since especially those that did derive from Christian church or Jehovah Witnesses or the whatever diffraction of Catholic or whatever, they didn't go into the Lord's judgments on that. They just focus on how he's just all grace and mercy, which he is, but they just left the judgment parts out. Now we just think that the Most High and Yahushua, they're just rigid. Everything they do is just judgment, man. A lot of times things is just time and chance in this life, man. That happens to people, man. There's a lot of things. Isn't always judgment as well, man. So I want to say that too, because a lot of times, even so, you might have there's been certain brothers and sisters pass away in the word, man. Some of it, I don't know. Some of it could have been judgment, but not all of it's just judgment. Some of them, they just pass away, time and chance, man. So, I just wanted to say that, man, because we deal with a balanced God, man. So let's, kind of ease up on that. But, yeah, man, that's what I'm going to this, man, about, not rejoicing over your greatest enemy, being dead, man, or something bad happened to him, man. Because again, don't get into it. It's easier said than done, man. But listen, and that's what the Wire said, man. The game is the game, man. And here's the thing, a lot of times too, what people have to understand. Listen, all that stuff, betrayal and stuff like that, or people disliking you or hating you, things, and that's gonna come, man. That's what how should I say? Offenses must come, man. Listen, if it happened to the Most High manifested in the flesh Himself, what do you think is not gonna happen to me? Listen, the game is game. Certain things, it's just life. Certain things it's gonna happen, man. Betrayals, stuff like that. It is what it is, man. So that's just it's easier said than done. Don't get me wrong, man, because we human at the end of the day. We in flesh. I understand it, man. But certain things listen, because what it is too, it's a balance type of thing. Listen, you just had to know like it's gonna come, it's gonna happen, man. Because that's why, like, because a lot of times too, people have this like misanthropic, like, cause that I used to have this misanthropic type of view of the world and society, like, and that's not real. Pessimism isn't like, I was watching the YouTube video months back. It was the Deval Eye. He was analyzing the evil of Kevin Spacey's character in Seven, his movie character in Seven, John Doe. And somebody even said, listen, somebody said in the comments section too, because they were analyzing his character as well. They said even pessimism, that's not reality too. You have to have a nuanced type of brain. Like, listen, okay, there's good, like, there's upstanding people, there's evil people in the world, and like, liars, slanderers, thieves, murderers, stuff like that. And but also too, there's good out here as well, man. You had to, it's balance out here, man. So like, and also offenses, betrayals, all that stuff is gonna come, man. So like, it is what it is too. So it's easier said than done, man, because a lot of times too, it can get like, you just have to know, listen, the game, like The Wire said, man, the game's the game, man. It is what it is. Things going to happen. Like, it's how you react to it. That's what the Most High Yahweh shall test, like, putting you through that furnace of affliction is testing you for how you're going to react to these certain things, man. Like, it is what it is, man. So, yeah, man. So, that's pretty much it, man. I'm still trying to work on not talking that fast and, like, being, better. Hopefully, y'all could understand, like, most of the points I made, man, because I kind of went a little fast, man. Because a lot of times, too, y'all brothers and sisters, I just get a little excited and things of that nature and talking, going over this stuff and talking to y'all, man. So much love, man. So peace.